diesel, kerosene and other refined fuels refined from Russian crude oil flooding Europe and calling for Kiev to tighten sanctions against Moscow. In an interview with Politico, Oleg Usthenko, economic advisor of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, objected closure of space EU-United States close emptiness refined countries such as India, China and Turkey. He bought gasoline, diesel, other products before selling energy companies without restrictions. In December, the G7 agreed to set a price limit of $60 per barrel in the Russian raw cotton, i.e. sales under this price was allowed. The result is that countries like India buy cheap Russian crude oil and then refine the refined margin to local companies before selling it to other countries. India's Russian crude oil imports reached highest level of 69 million barrels May, which increased almost 10 times than the same period in 2021 before Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and more than twice 31 million purchased May last year. Increase. Volumes fell to about 50 million barrels in July, but remained far above the pre-war levels. As a result, India's exports of fuel products to the EU accelerated. In June 2021, only 1.68 barrels and 0.51 barrels, respectively, exported 5.1 barrels of diesel and 3.2 barrel jet fuel. They were buying Russian oil before invading. But the import level was very marginal. Only 1% of imported oil. For the New Delhi, it's just a good job. In an interview with CNBC last week, Hardeep Singh Puri, India's petroleum and natural gas minister, agreed that his country's private refinery caught Russian crude oil well below the market price. It means now, in addition, Russia has a negative impact on profitability. Russia's energy export revenues remained almost half in first 6 months of this year. And when sanctions began to weaken foundations of Russian economy, Ruble has reached low levels in recent weeks. However, while the war damages Ukraine, Kiev wants to turn the screws further. Usthenko should support a prohibition for all refined products to G7 countries if they are produced using Russian oil, even if they are refined elsewhere. Usthenko added that Kiev wanted to support the price limit to only $30. He also pushed the Polonia and Baltic countries at a lower price last year. But oil tankers are balked with a lot of Russian crude oil. These steps, Usthenko said, it will be a big signal that it is completely illegal touch the producers touch Russian oil and take weapons the regime and commit war crimes in Ukraine. However, the idea is at least likely to find a lot of support, at least according to Maximillian Hess, author a new book on Foreign Policy Research Institute and author a new book on Russian sanctions. Refinction Russian raw by third countries is not failure measures as well as measures. Part of West's strategy is to keep the Russian oil flow. As United States said over and over again. He said, there is absolutely appetite between some